Hello, and welcome to another installment of Nerdy Movie News Roundup, the show where I round up all of the biggest news in the world of nerdy movies. That's what I do. Let's just jump right into it, and we are gonna be starting with a sad story. Richard Donner, he has passed away. So I'm reading this from the Hollywood Reporter. Richard Donner, the veteran television director who helmed the first Superman film starring Christopher Reeve and the four Lethal Weapon films in a spectacular transition to the big screen, died Monday. Just to be specific, that would be July 5th, 2021, obviously. His assistant told the Hollywood Reporter he was 91. So, this is definitely one of those deaths that is obviously sad, but I do feel like there is room for celebration because he lived to 91 and he had a fantastic career. So I don't know. This is definitely one of those deaths that I guess, or I should say celebrity death, where it kind of just makes me want to go back and watch their catalog of movies and just celebrate the art that they were able to create instead of, be sad about the fact that they're gone. I don't know. Is that shitty of me? I hope I'm saying this the right way, or at least I hope it's coming across the right way. But yeah, I don't know. I guess when a celebrity dies at such an old age like that, I just can't help but appreciate how accomplished they were. I mean, this guy is like the grandfather of the comic book movie genre. Like Superman, the movie, that was him. So, yeah, obviously condolences to his family. I'm sure they're going through a rough time, but I would also say that, yeah, let's celebrate Richard Donner's career and just watch some Donner movies. Go watch The Goonies. He also did The Goonies. Feels really shitty to move on to the next news story. But I don't feel like there's no good way to go about it. So on to the next one. Some Lego sets have potentially revealed some stuff about SpiderMan No Way Home. So I don't think these images were leaked. Did Lego reveal them, just release them themselves? I'm not sure, but either way, these are some Lego sets from No Way Home. So here we have a Mysterio Lego set. It seems like pretty similar to what we saw in Far From Home, where Spider-Man is fighting Mysterio drones. So we'll get back to this in a minute, but then we have the next one where he's fighting the Vulture, and he's kind of in like a spider copter, and he's wearing like a black and gold suit. We'll also get to that in a minute. And the next set is a Sanctum set where he's in the Sanctum Sanctorum, and Wong is there. So that's cool. And I've seen people speculate that this like robot that they're fighting here is like a Scorpion robot, which sounds interesting. It wouldn't surprise me if Scorpion is in this movie because he was kind of teased. Was he teased at the end of Homecoming or Far From Home? No, I think it was teased at the end of Homecoming. So, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if they got the Scorpion guy to come back. But then we get this image here that is also of like a bunch of toys. And here we get a better look at the suit that we saw. We saw Spider-Man with this like what looks to be, if we look at the toys on the right, what looks to be like kind of like the design of the Iron Spider suit, but without it being like an Iron Man suit. That's what that kind of looks like to me. And then we have that black suit with like the gold webbing. I think they look cool. I'll be honest, I'm not one of these people who gets like super, obsessive over suits, or I don't know if obsessive is the right word, but I don't really think too much about suits. Like, I know people get really picky about like superhero suits, but generally speaking, I'm like, if it looks like the character, it's fine. I don't know. I don't have that sort of taste to me. But if you look at the bottom left, very interesting. We see what looks like Spider-Man with like some magic sort of emblems, like one hanging around his neck, and then he has like an orb of some kind. we'll get to what that could potentially be later in the video. Well, we'll get some more teases that could confirm that there's some magic-y stuff going on there, and that I feel like Doctor Strange is going to be teaching Spider-Man magic. I think that could be a thing, but we'll have to wait and see. But I do have something else later that we'll get to, another story. Probably should have bundled them together, but I didn't plan ahead very well, now did I? Next up, we got a first look at Star Wars Visions. It was like a special look. It wasn't really a trailer. It was kind of like you saw like a bunch of animators talking about what this is, and we saw some clips of the show. But yeah, it looks cool. It's basically, if you don't know, Star Wars Visions is going to be an anthology series where it's going to be where all of the sort of short stories are going to be anime. And they got a bunch of anime studios to work on this project, which, is not cool, actually. It's bad because the weebs are gaining too much power and now they are infiltrating Star Wars. So we must fight back against this. We must not stand for this. The weebs are gaining too much power. We must fight back. We need to get like a DreamWorks. DreamWorks. What is it? Miyazaki movie? That would be, yes, please. We need the Boss Baby studio to create a Miyazaki movie. That's what we need in response. But I don't know. No, in all seriousness, this looks cool. I think the art style looks really neat. Probably should have had some images of the art style. I'm sorry. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm just like, I'm not thinking. But next story. It looks cool. Go watch the trailer. What do you want from me? Go watch the trailer. Yeah, next story. The Last of Us show is officially filming. There is a set photo here where we see Pedro Pascal, we see Gabriel Luno, and the girl's name, I don't know her name, and I also didn't write it down. What is the matter with me? Oh, wait, did I write it down? I didn't write it down. I don't know her name, but she was cast as Joel's daughter. And I don't want to spoil the first game, but I will just say that if you know what this scene is, you know what the scene is, and yeah, that's all I'll say. Like I don't have to say anything. Like you know what's going on there. But there was also another thing that I wanted to talk about. During an interview on the Script Notes podcast, I'm reading this from Screen Rant. Craig Mazin, the producer, or I guess he's like the executive producer. No, he's the showrunner of this. So I'm reading this from Screen Rant. That streamlined story will be contained in 10 episodes in the first season, Mazin revealed to the Script Notes podcast. The producer also revealed that 3 to 4 of the scripts have been completed for the first season of the series, but Mazin did not reveal how much of the game the first season will cover. Additionally, Mazin told the podcast that there will be 5 directors over the 10 episodes. So basically on this podcast, Craig Mazin, he revealed that there's going to be 10 episodes. We still don't know how much of the game this first season is going to cover. And, he revealed that they're still working on the script. But, yeah, I think that's interesting. I think 10 episodes, I think that's good. I think that's a good number for the first game, honestly. But it also does depend on what they're going to do. They have said that that the show, it's going to be different from the game. Like, it's not going to be the exact same thing. So I don't know what they're going to do. Ideally, honestly, if I think what they should do is make the first season be the first game, make a couple seasons kind of take place during the gap between the first game and the second game, because I'm not sure how long of a gap it is, but it's like years. So just make a show in between that gap, and then once the girl who's playing Ellie like ages and sort of grows into the right sort of age to play Ellie in the second game, then that's when you tell the story of the second game. I don't know. That's how I would do it, but who knows? I mean, they could stretch the first game into multiple seasons as well as the second game. Like, I don't know. Like, I assume I assume HBO wants this to be like a long running show for them to go for at least 4 or 5 seasons. So yeah, I'm not sure how they're gonna do it, but Craig Mazin, he's really good, and I just kind of have faith in him. So we'll just have to see where this goes. But they are filming, and it's happening. So buckle your seatbelts, because you're gonna watch the show probably, and then the internet is gonna argue about whether it's good or not. Man, I okay. One last thing, I cannot wait. I cannot wait for the normies who have not played the game or any of the games to get to the second game and to get to the controversy. I just want to sit back, grab a bucket of popcorn, and just watch the normies go at it like we did, like us gamers did. I cannot wait for that. I feel like all of us that disagree on the game, we can at least come together and just sit back and watch all the normies go what we went through. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to the show. But next story, Hubert Jackman, this boy, this Australian boy, he is teasing a potential return to the character of Wolverine. So on his Instagram, he posted this fan art by Boss Logic. He's a really popular fan artist, and it's the Wolverine claws. So this doesn't necessarily mean anything. He could just be being like, hey, look, I saw this cool fan art. This character that I once played and that I'm never gonna play again. I like the fan art, so it could just be that. But the next day, he posted a picture of himself with Kevin Feige, and this is weird. This is definitely weird. Like this, it can't be a coincidence, can it? Like okay. I do kind of want to explain this other thing. I've heard some people bring this up. I don't know much about the situation, but apparently Richard Donner, who we talked about in the first segment, apparently he produced the first X-Men movie. I think he was like an executive producer on it, and Kevin Feige also worked on that first X-Men movie. So it's possible. It's definitely possible that this was just Hugh Jackman kind of, paying tribute to Richard Donner for, sort of launching his career in this way, and sort of, I guess, just kind of like paying tribute to the sort of friendship that him, Kevin Feige, and Richard Donner had. I've seen people pose that theory, and while that definitely is plausible, I feel like Hugh Jackman, he knows what posting those two images consecutively is gonna do to fans. Like, he has to know that they're gonna that's gonna cause speculation. So I don't know. Maybe he wasn't really thinking about it in that way. Like, I do think maybe we do sometimes like forget that actors, they're in these movies, but they're not like terminally thinking about them like us. So it totally could just be Hugh Jackman wanting to pay tribute to his friend who passed away. But I don't think you're ridiculous for also thinking that there's something else to this. So will Hugh Jackman come back in the MCU? I mean, it's really not a far-fetched idea. Like, we're seeing, with Loki and this, new Spider-Man movie and Doctor Strange 2, where the multiverse is very much a thing. It is very much real, and actually further proof of that we will see in upcoming segment. Should I have grouped all of these things together? Probably, but like I told you, I'm not a good planner at this stuff. So next segment, Zachary S. Snyder the man himself. This is a Hollywood Reporter exclusive. He's working on a new movie for Netflix, but let me just read this little thing here. Snyder has set his next project, an epic sci-fi fantasy titled Rebel Moon, that he is co-writing and will direct and produce for Netflix, the home of his most recent hit, Army of the Dead. The story is set in motion when a peaceful colony on the edge of the galaxy is threatened by the armies of a tyrannical regent named Belisarius. Desperate people dispatch a young woman with a mysterious past to seek out warriors from neighboring planets to help them make a stand. Rebel finds the germs of its origins in a Star Wars pitch the filmmaker had developed a decade ago. It was a more mature take on the universe created by George Lucas and didn't move beyond any meaningful conversations after the Walt Disney Company acquired Lucasfilm in 2012. At one point, he and Newman, who was behind Narcos and Narcos Mexico, even went down the path of making it a series. It also mentions elsewhere in the article that the movie is also inspired by Akira Kurosawa. This is interesting. I'll be honest, I appreciate Zack Snyder, even though I'm generally not a huge fan of his movies, if I'm being honest. I really didn't like Army of the Dead. Now, that's mostly because of the cinematography and principally the choice of the lens with the weird, like out of focus stuff. It hurt my head, to be honest with you. But this is a cool premise. I appreciate the fact that Zack Snyder is just kind of able to go to Netflix and they're just like, oh, what do you want to do? Sure, just go do it. We don't care. Here's like $100 million. Go make a movie. We could not care less. And yeah, it seems like Netflix is probably gonna position this to be one of their massive franchises that they're gonna want to hope to compete with, like the Marvels and the Star Warses. So yeah, I'll be interested to see how this plays out. So next up, we have some casting for The Witcher Blood Origin. Michelle Yeoh has joined the prequel series. I'm reading this from Variety, by the way. Michelle Yeoh has joined the prequel series The Witcher Blood Origin. Yeoh joins previously announced cast member Lawrence O'Farrane. Yeoh will star as Sion, the very last. Well, that was a weird, like, not even a burp. I don't even know what that was. She will star as Sion, the very last of her nomadic tribe of sword elves. No one can come close to her artistry with the blade, and no one carries as much loss within their heart. When a chance presents itself to retrieve a stolen sacred sword taken from her fallen tribe by nefarious means, she launches herself into a deadly quest that will change the outcome of the continent. Set in an elven world 1,200 years before the world of The Witcher, Blood Origin will tell the story of the creation of the first prototype Witcher and the events that lead to the pivotal conjunction of the spheres, when the worlds of monsters, men, and elves merge to become one. Netflix has given the limited live-action series a 6-episode order. So, I don't know much about The Witcher, but I figured I'd throw this in here just because it's a popular show. I don't know. I started watching the first season, and I couldn't really get into it. To be honest, I just thought it was kind of boring. Like, I don't know. And I haven't played the games either. So, but yeah, Michelle Yeoh, I like her. And I know people like the show, so hopefully this is cool news. I don't know. I'll probably check this out when it comes out, just because it's a prequel, and maybe this limited series will be really good, and I'll just fall in love with the universe, and then I'll be able to go through and sort of force myself through the first season. I don't know. I'm sure Witcher fans are excited. Next story, Christopher Stuckman. He's directing a movie. I'm reading this from Deadline. It's a Deadline exclusive, as a matter of fact. Paper Street Pictures has set YouTuber Chris Stuckman to write and direct the mystery horror movie Shelby Oaks about a group of missing paranormal investigators. The project will chart the story of a fictional mid-2000s U.S. paranormal investigative team called the Paranormal Paranoids. Multiple found footage videos have surfaced online in recent months that prompted horror and ARG that stands for Alternate Reality Game fans, to speculate about the veracity of the case and the whereabouts of the investigators. One video uploaded last week appeared to show the abduction of one of the group known as Riley. So, this is really interesting. First of all, I really like Chris Stuckman. I've been watching his YouTube videos for years, so, and like I know that he's been wanting to make movies like himself. So, I'm honestly just happy for the guy that he's actually able to direct his movie. And this premise is kind of cool. Like I don't. So if you don't know what an ARG is, and it's kind of hard to explain, but it's basically like an online sort of puzzle game where, you know, if somebody is going to make an ARG, they generally will like post sort of cryptic videos to YouTube, and then people who come across those videos sort of watch them and analyze them and try to piece together what the story is and what's happening. And it's a pretty cool thing. I know like a big one that's going on right now is the Walton Files. If you're curious to check one out, go look up the Walton Files. It's pretty interesting stuff, and it's kind of it's just a really cool internet thing that is it's a game that you can play that involves like genuine problem solving and like investigation and, you know, like cooperation with a community of people who are also trying to do this thing. It's a cool thing, and I'm not entirely certain if Chris Stuckman is working with the people who made this ARG or if he's just inspired by the ARG, and I'm not really sure how that works. Like, do the people who made that ARG like not own the rights to it? I'm not sure how it all works, but if Chris Stuckman is taking this ARG and like making a movie that kind of plays into it, that could be really cool. Like I feel like he's kind of getting into that sort of market before the Five Nights at Freddy's movie that was supposed to have done that like years ago, but that movie has just been in development hell. But yeah, happy for Chris Stuckman, and the idea of like making a legit movie with an ARG and sort of hopefully like playing into it. I think that is a genuinely interesting concept beyond the fact that this is Chris Stuckman directing a movie. So happy for him. Next segment. Marvel and DC films are not going to be at Comic-Con this year. They're doing like a Comic-Con at home thing. I think they did that last year as well. But yeah, they're skipping Comic-Con. Not too surprising. There's just really no, like, if it's not sort of doing a show in front of a crowd of people, I feel like there's no real benefit for Marvel or DC to do it. Like, DC is obviously wanting to focus on their fandom, and like Disney has D23. They have their like they could literally just set up a live stream and announce a bunch of Marvel movies. Like they do not need Comic-Con, and it's one of those things where honestly I mean Comic-Con's not going to die because it's not like E3 where like E3 like I feel like desperately needs studios to sort of sustain the hype for it. But like Comic-Con is kind of different in the sense that it's a more of a communal thing where people just kind of like to go and dress up and hang out at Comic-Con, I feel like. But there definitely was a point in time where one of the big things about Comic-Con was what are all the trailers going to be? And that age is slowly fading because these studios are kind of wanting to do their own things, which is kind of sad, but not surprising. So next story, we got some Shazam 2 set photos. So first up, this one here, Shazam, it looks like he's walking across a crosswalk, or he also kind of looks like he's running maybe. Why wouldn't he be flying? I don't know. This next one, you got to kind of see better that his suit is damaged in some way. So that's interesting. This third one here, you get to see the damaged suit better. He's also carrying a thing here. I honestly have no idea what that is. I don't know if it's a prop for the movie or if it has to do with the production of the movie. But yep. Then we get this picture here. Yeah, I don't know. At some point, Shazam is going to get a damaged suit. So cool, I guess. But another more interesting thing here, we have this picture that David F. Sandberg, the director of the Shazam movie, posted to his Instagram, and this seems like a pretty blatant tease for Black Adam. So this could obviously just be the Shazam logo, but it's very cryptic in the sense that the lighting is very dark. It's in front of like these black rocks, so it looks like the Shazam logo on Black Adam's black suit. And this is something that I feel like people may be reading a bit too much into, but people think that because the symbol is in front of some rocks, that means that the rock that means it's like trying to signal the rock. It's kind of funny, but I don't know. I think that's probably looking into it a bit much, but this seems like a pretty blatant Black Adam tease. Does this? I wonder if this means that Black Adam is gonna play some kind of significant role in the movie. We'll just have to wait and see. But next story. Killmonger was getting teased as far as his involvement in the What If series because a Funko Pop image was released with, first of all, if you look at the box, it says King Killmonger, so that kind of indicates that in one of the What If episodes, Killmonger is going to be the king of Wakanda, and really interestingly, it seems like he's carrying an Ultron head, which is kind of awesome. But this image was released yesterday, but then earlier today, they released a What If trailer that I'm kind of more interested in talking about. Now, I'm not going to go over everything in the trailer. This is the poster that I'm just going to have the image up. I'm not interested in talking about everything in the trailer because it's just it's just like Easter eggs everywhere. It'll take me forever to cover it all. You want to talk about Easter eggs, you can go watch the new Rockstar thing, but this poster here is kind of works as a bit of an easy, it kind of covers like the highlights. So first of all, we saw in the other trailers, we have Captain Carter. We're going to see her. That's with Peggy Carter got the super soldier serum instead of Steve Rogers, T'Challa as Star-Lord. And then if you look at this poster here, it looks like if you kind of look on the upper right, I don't know if you can see it well on the OBS, but it looks like Ultron with what kind of looks like Infinity Stones on his chest. And then if you look right next to him, Gamora, she's wearing the battle armor from Thanos, which is kind of interesting. And then up on the top right, it looks like Black Widow. Nothing really too special about her, but she's in this in some capacity. And then most bizarrely, up on the top left, it's what looks like Spider-Man wearing Doctor Strange's cape. Are we going to see a sorcerer Spider-Man? I don't know. I'm very excited about this series. It sounds wacky, or it looks wacky. But the other really interesting thing that I wanted to talk about as far as the series goes, there is a scene, or there's like a bit where Doctor Strange is talking to Captain Carter. And that indicates to me that we're gonna see, like, these aren't just anthology episodes. We're gonna see them cross over in some capacity. Because it looked like Doctor Strange was in the modern day. Like, I don't know, he just seems like in the modern day. He doesn't look like a Doctor Strange in the 50s. So, this is my theory. We'll see if it pans out, but I think that we are going to see Doctor Strange I think it's going to be our Doctor Strange, and he is going to be traveling to all of these other dimensions in the multiverse, and I think that's what this is going to be. And we're going to see him go and see, Captain Carter. We're going to see him, hang out with T'Challa and the rest of the gang there. We're going to see him go in the Marvel Zombies universe. I forgot to talk about the Marvel Zombies. I think that's what the show is going to be, and I think it's going to set up whatever the events are I think it's going to set up the events that are going to happen in Into the Multiverse of Madness. That's just my theory, and I'm kind of just basing it on the bit where we see Doctor Strange talking to Agent Carter, or Captain Carter, my apologies. That's my theory. Who knows if it's actually going to pan out, but yeah, this trailer definitely indicated to me that this show is going to be more than just an anthology show. I don't think it's just going to be like a side thing where, hey, check out all these cool little what if stories. I think that one scene indicated to me that this is going to be a core series in the MCU, and it's going to be pretty important. So yeah, just keep your mind up. Keep an eye on the show. Don't be one of these people who it's a cartoon. I don't like cartoons, so I'm not gonna watch it. You gotta watch it. It looks like it's gonna be a core pivotal series, so you can't skip it. You baby who doesn't want to watch cartoons. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I think the show looks cool. Hopefully my theory pans out. I don't like being wrong, but we'll have to see what happens. But either way, this is the end of this week's Nerdy Movie News Roundup. A lot of cool stories that we talked about. Just really, really want a No Way Home trailer. Desperately need it. Oh, by the way, I didn't make this a story. I probably should have. Black Widow is releasing today. I'm going to be watching it later today. So that's technically a story. So go watch Black Widow if you haven't already, because it's out. If you're relying on me to tell you, but yeah, that is actually going to be it for this episode. If you enjoyed it, let me know in the comments below any of your thoughts on any of the stories that we talked about today. And goodbye.